Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Chantele. And we're here to rate the final 6 of Survivor 44.
But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I'm excited to talk about this final 6. And I'm so excited to have a Jesse back,
Woo!
you guys.
Hey.
Thank you for coming back to talk about this season. Give us a quick, how are you just liking the season overall at this point?
I'm enjoying it. I think that the first couple of episodes of the season were a lot of advantages and twists and things like that kind of took away from the cast. But I feel like anytime that they've had an episode where there were like fewer twists and fewer like it was like solid, like the cast was able to shine, which is, the cast is great. They really pop. And so yeah, when they let them play, it's great. It's fun.
Isn't it amazing when they let them play?
I love letting them play.
What a
the game that I really love. Like I did never like these trinkets and doodads and booby traps. Like I don't like the luck element of the game. Like I want them to be able to control their own fate to a certain extent. And so I love it when it's just a clean week and like, it's just like no idle plays or like, I just like it when it's just very basic Survivor. It's the most thrilling for me personally.
I mean, I do love an idol play.
Yeah, there was an idol play.
There was.
Oh, and
I was screaming at this episode. I don't know if you knew, Jesse, but I live in Toronto, but Rob's podcast was just here last week. And so we watched that episode live in a huge auditorium with like other previous survivors and like a whole bunch of patrons. Like we were screaming this episode. It was such a good electric episode to watch in a big group. So I definitely can't wait to hear your guys' perspective on it because it really popped like in this big group. So that was nice.
Yes. Well, let's start with who we lost. I can't believe it. We finally got Danny out. I mean, he seemed like he would be a target, yet not really a target. They would change their mind or something would happen. I thought he was going to just outlast, I don't know, slide right on through. But a big move was made. He's out. What would you rate Danny? How'd you feel about Danny this season, Jesse?
I thought Danny was a lot of fun. I thought he was just like, he had such a good energy to him and he was just constantly like, I don't know, anybody who goes on there and just decides to fart for Jeff. I don't know.
It was from the parchment paper that he ate a few days before.
Yeah, right.
It was like chaos. It was just chaos. He reminds me, like looking back overall at his game, he reminds me a lot of Cody. Very similar sort of vibes, very similar energy, and just he was just going.
He was definitely living.
Yeah, he was.
I did appreciate Danny's like wanting just to play the game, like have some fun. He definitely brought some really exciting moments in the game. Chantele, how'd you feel about him specifically getting out this week?
Well, I knew it was coming because when he okay, so he uses the idol on Franny. I was like, yes, you're keeping your numbers strong, you're keeping it together. And to pretty soon after just turn on Franny and get her out of the game. I think it was because he wanted to have a better shot at winning immunity. And she was kind of like the immunity queen here. But I think that was actually a big mistake because now he doesn't have a shield of any sort in front of him. Like people are going to be like, oh, like you look like you're going to be the next competition beast potentially. Like let's get you out. And you have had a successful idol play in front of the jury. Like you're definitely somebody that I don't want to be sitting beside. And so the fact that he got rid of somebody that could have just been a little bit of a shield for him, I had a feeling that they were going to turn on him very quickly because why would they want somebody that's super strong in challenges that would be a potential winner in the final 2 or 3? So I thought that his days were numbered as soon as he allowed Franny to leave the game. So it wasn't, I was kind of expecting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun to watch, but I did feel like, it was going to burn out, right?
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, when he played the idol for Franny, I was like, this feels very soon. like to early in the merge to like make that sort of flashy sort of move, and stick your neck out there. And yeah, people obviously are going to look at him as potentially the next challenge threat, even though he did not win an individual immunity.
It's true.
And he did not win the
But he came
one.
second so many times that he was just like, I gotta get rid of Fanny.
Yeah, second place is not a good one. Yeah, what's up? The breathing. Come on, breath work.
The last gasp. Come on.
That last gasp is so terrifying. I don't ever want to do that.
No, never. You obviously did it. Like, how was it? It sounds like terrible.
It's horrible. I think you can get a groove of like knowing when the wave, like when it's gonna come up and like come over your face, so you take your breath. But then sometimes when it's just sitting there for so long, panic really does start to, you're like, and it's so disorienting. And so being disoriented on top of the fact that panic is setting in, it takes a lot. And yeah.
Right?
I don't want to do it again. I don't want to do it
again. You're not going to practice in your bathtub for the next time?
No.
Well, let's dive into our final 6 here. Let's give out some dice, you guys. Just as a reminder, 5 dice is the greatest game. 1 dice, what are you doing? What? That's not a great game. That's what we're going to give out here. And let's start with Wild and Crazy. Queen Carolyn made a big idol move today, or this episode. Chantele.
I mean, we know that Carolyn here is the star of the season, you know, especially feeling in the audience when we're watching this episode, like everybody is rooting for Carolyn to do well, to be successful in this game. And I'm one of those people. And so I'm really like, I enjoyed her this episode. I love that she was able to suss out the fact that like, no, they're lying to us. Like they're voting out Carson. Like she knew this, and she did have a successful idol play. Unfortunately, it wasn't effective. So I wanted to give Carolyn 5 dice here. I wanted to, but because she didn't need to burn that idol. She didn't have to, even though it was so flashy. It was so satisfying. They would have had the votes if she didn't use it. It would have been nice for her to have kept that, because now she might look like a threat to people and be like, oh, like maybe now Carolyn can win. And maybe they weren't looking her at as a threat before, but now she may appear a little bit more like a threat. And so I'm just a little bit more worried for her than I was before. So I'm giving her 4 dice though. I'm still feeling strong about Carolyn, but I'm worried that she may have some arrows pointed towards her just for making this flashy move.
Sure, I agree. She just put a huge target on her back. Everybody was sleeping on her. They were like, she wouldn't even have an idol. She doesn't even know what she's doing in this game. And now they're like, whoa, Carolyn's actually playing. But I don't care, because she gets a 5 from me. She didn't know if the votes were going to come together. Look, you try to get a plan together, right? You try to get the votes together, but you don't know. And you have an idol and you got to make it happen. So no, she didn't need to play the idol actually once we counted the votes, but she did need to make sure that she made the biggest move. If she is lucky enough to now survive the target that's on her back and make it to the end, she gets to claim this as a big, bold move. So that is why I'm giving her a 5, even though it just probably did put her in a really bad spot.
Well, and one other thing too, like the fact that she didn't tell Jam Jam, I'm not sure if that's going to bode well for her, because like, you know, her and Jam Jam, as soon as they lie to each other, they're kind of mad at each other and they're kind of at like, you know, going against each other. And so I could be worried that Jam Jam might get jealous the fact that she didn't tell him about the idol, uses it on Carson, and it doesn't seem like, from what we've been shown, like he knows or he knew that was going to happen. That could be problematic, and maybe you'll have Jam Jam want to turn on Carson and Carolyn. So that's why it's not the perfect move for me, but I'm still supportive.
I hear you. Yeah. Jesse, break this tie.
I am actually good with the fact that she didn't tell Jam Jam. I'm a little bit upset. Not upset. I wouldn't have told Carson. Anytime somebody tells somebody about an idol, I'm like, why would you tell anybody? And I don't know if she needed to. I mean, she also
Right.
didn't need to play it. What I'll say is I think that she has had amazing reads the entire game. Like the entire game through, people have been discounting her reads, and she's been like right on nearly everything.
Yeah.
Including this episode. She was able to see through Danny's like fake plan. She's able to suss out who the actual target is, which is like, that is hard to do. Like it's hard to do when you have so many lies out there, right? To figure out like what the actual plan is if you're being lied to. And so I think that that's incredible. But I will say that I was like, after looking at the vote count, I was like, the idol didn't need to get played. And you could tell by the jury reaction, you could tell by the reaction of the people around them.
They loved it.
They loved it. And I feel like they were also just sort of taken aback, like because Carolyn was the one that did it, because they had been discounting her openly in confessionals. And so now, I think we even saw in the previews, like, or something, there's a sneak peek that came out that showed like Lauren and her hunting for idols or something, and Lauren saying something like, Carolyn's acting like she's not playing, but she's really is playing. So like now she's a target. Mm-hmm. So with that said, I might get, I don't know if I'm gonna get a text later or something from somebody whose name rhymes with Marilyn. I don't know. But I'm gonna give her 4 dice.
Okay, 4. Well, that's not bad. For a minute, I thought you were going lower. I was like, Jesse.
No. 4 dice. No. Her reads are incredible.
Right? How did she know it was going to be Carson? Yeah. I think you usually go, well, I don't know, but is it Carson, or maybe it's like you just talk yourself out of these things constantly.
Yeah, and it was so gutsy for her to play it for somebody else, especially like she said in the confessional. She's like, imagine if I play it for Carson and then I go home. Like, that's the
worst.
Yeah.
So I am wondering though, with her telling Carson about it, if that's when he went to Lauren and Jamie. Like, we don't really know what the sequencing of events was, and maybe she was like, well, there might be an idol play, and maybe that's why they decided to put their votes on someone else so that it wouldn't come back on them potentially. So yeah, I do agree in general. I would not want to tell anybody about my idol. That's like, let's take it to the grave. But because she did tell Carson about it, that's why I thought that she should have told Jam Jam. But in general, I wouldn't have said nothing.
It is tough to tell one and not the other. And to Jesse's point, like why say anything? Just wait and see if you're going to play it. But it might have helped Carson. You're right. Well, guess what, guys? The audience is with me. Audience gave her 5 dice, so she is gonna get 5 dice. We did it. We did it. Yay. Okay. That takes us, let's get rid of this dice, to another Tika, who actually was also a big part of this. So I will start with Carson here. Look, we debated if obviously the idol didn't actually need to be played because we got the votes. Guess who got the votes? That was Carson. So I have to give Carson just as much credit, if not more, because he's the one who actually got the votes in his favor, saved his butt. He was the one that was potentially going home. So I'm just going to keep giving out 5s today, y'all.
You're mighty generous.
All right.
Look, he saved himself and he got the votes to get Danny out. Am I the only one seeing this? Jesse.
I want to hear Jesse has to say.
No. So I'm going to actually agree with you on this. I think that Carson actually, I watched this episode at a Bryson Lynn event in Philly. That was when I watched it the first time. And yes, people were cheering as soon as Carolyn played her idol. They were cheering when she told Carson about the idol. It was a really fun event, a really fun episode to watch with people. Yeah. And so I had to rewatch it today by myself just to sort of see the strategy portion of things, because it gets so loud. And I will say that just watching from Carson coming back to camp, Carolyn mad at him for leaving him out of the vote. to then, by the end of it, having her play an idol on him when he had also already moved the numbers around so that it wouldn't matter is pretty incredible. And I have to give it 5 dice.
Perfectly said, Jesse. Well done.
Well, I didn't come into this pod here thinking that I was going to give out 5 dice for Carson this week, because I was feeling as though since he was the target this episode, that next episode he might be, the target again, and he will not have the idol to potentially protect him. But I have to say, you guys are quite influential, and I don't feel good about only giving him 4 dice. So I too am going to bump my dice up to 5 dice, because yes, he was in a shitty position when he first started the episode, with Carolyn being mad at him. And when Carolyn's mad, like, she holds a grudge for a little while, and so he was able to get back in her good graces, secure the votes like you both said, and have an idol played on him. We're doing week to week. What am I thinking about next week for? I'll deal with next week. Next week he gets 5 stars, 5 dice.
That's right. We're all in trouble next
5
week.
stars here. Yes, 5 dice, 5.
Yeah, we're not going to stay this generous. Trust me. This is about to change real quick. Yay! Well, this time the audience was actually giving him 4.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. He's going to get 5. Way to go, Carson. I mean, he's obviously a target. No, he's a puzzle master. Like, once you do need to get those people out. So he's probably going to be in trouble every week. But get yourself out of it.
Anyways, so
but now he has Carolyn, who just made a splashy move.
Yeah, right?
So he might be even better off than he was.
I think you all correct. Well, Jesse, start us off with our next one. Miss Heidi.
Ooh, this one's hard. Why did I have to start off the hard?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no. Let me think.
Well, I'll talk you through a little thing. She still has her idol. That's a secret.
She has her idol.
She was definitely not looped into this vote. And she wasn't looped into the last vote, to be honest.
Yeah, she was left sort of being the only one that voted Danny coming back to camp at the beginning of the episode. And then
and she
got left.
Danny.
She lost Danny. She was going to vote with him this episode, and then she lost Danny. The one thing that's like really going good for her is that she does have an idol that nobody knows about. Yeah. And she's caught votes every time, like these last few episodes. So I feel like she has at least a good enough grip on like any anxiety that you might get going in a tribal to not play that idol, because she's been catching votes. And she knows it. She openly talked about it. So she has some awareness about that, and she has an idol. So I think that she could play it. Maybe I'm thinking too much about the future.
Back it up.
Back it up. Yeah, no, this one is tough. But she was right there with Jam Jam. Almost won the last gasp.
Oh, that's true.
The last. So I am gonna. Oh, this is tough. Oh God! Hopefully I don't go lower than. Okay. 2 dice.
Okay.
2 dice. I feel you.
I love Heidi though.
We love her. We love her. Chantele.
I think this was it's been a rough stretch, I feel like, for her. But I can see it turning.
It is rough. Yeah. It has been rough for her, but she's still not out. Like, I feel as she still has a way to reposition herself to get to the end of the game. The fact that she does still have an idol, and she has 2 people now that she can actively target to take out next vote. So it would be super easy for Heidi to go, hey, like, Tika, let's get together and let's take out Lauren or Jamie. And that could be something that could protect her and save her. And she always still will have this idol that nobody knows about, which is really, really good for her. So I do understand the two, but because she still has a secret idol, I have to give her a little bit of an oomph here, a little bit more. So I give her 3. She didn't play that well this week, but she still kept quiet about her idol. So that's a good thing. And she has a target. She knows she can target somebody, and I think she can get the numbers for that.
Right. Yeah. I gotta go with Jesse.
I'm generous here. Okay.
Yes, I can't believe it. But look, I think she's actually in a pretty decent position. I think future-wise, she's in better than Carolyn and Carson. I mean, she looks like she just lost her number 1 ally. She looks like someone that can just be picked up as a number, and she has a secret idol. So I think she's gonna be okay. But if I'm talking about this week, and like coming off of last week, like being screwed with her number 1, and then to be completely out of the loop here and a possible backup target, like she's the other name. This week just wasn't her week. It wasn't looking good. I'm giving her 2 because she has the idol basically and is going to be okay in the future.
Oh my goodness. So, shots fired for sure.
Look, I've already said it. Heidi's edit surged at just the right time. She could very well be our winner, but
this episode is not.
This was not her episode.
This is the beginning of her arc, her rise to a win.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I could see next week coming back and giving her a 5, like
exactly.
just because she's got some potential moving forward.
But yes, and I think I have given her like a 4 at least in the past. So I think, yeah, to your point, she's gonna be okay, guys. She's gonna be okay. The audience was a little, they were more around Chantel's
I would assume so.
A little nicer than Jesse and I. So she is going to average out with 3 dice today. That's good. Middle of the road. I feel that for Heidi. All right. Well, that takes us to Plant Lady and Yoga Circle, Gratitude Circle, Jamie.
Yeah.
Chantele.
I'm just looking in the comments and seeing that Shafika's like, unfortunately, I keep on forgetting about Jamie. And that's kind of how I feel about her. Like, I think she's super sweet. I think she's probably a very lovely person if I were to meet her in real life. I'm sure, like, she's very likable. But she's a little bit lost in what's actually going on. And she seems to think that she's in these super powerful positions when people are actually running circles around her game-wise. And so the fact that we don't know the reason, obviously, we didn't see the full rationale as to why her and Lauren switched their vote. Because I believe that they were originally going to be doing the Carson thing. But they switched it on to Heidi, and Heidi didn't leave. And so the fact that they have this, like, she's going to be mad at them. Like, they were supposed to be voting together and now they're going to be mad. Like, I wasn't sure if it was like a good move for her to do right now. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure what she should have done, but I just think that was all out bad because Heidi wasn't ever coming for them. And now I think she might be. So she doesn't have an idol or a fake idol. She doesn't seem to have her finger on the pulse of what's going on in the game. It seems like her and Lauren are working together, but I don't know if that's helpful for both of them because they're not making any powerful or effective moves. She hasn't won any immunities. So I think she deserves it too.
Yeah.
2 days.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I understand the 1, but I felt bad. I felt bad.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I'm definitely giving her a 2. And I hear you on the fact that they wrote Heidi's name down, but that was the plan of like splitting the Danny Heidi thing, right? Heidi is the backup to if you can't get Danny out. So I actually bump her up to a 2 because I feel like she was on the right side of the vote, even though, I mean, Heidi can just look at this and be like, you wrote my name down, but I feel like they switched to the right plan. So I'm actually going to give her a little credit for that. Okay. But otherwise, Yeah, unfortunately, I love her spirit and her energy is she's the happiest person to ever play Survivor.
I love this game. It's like
Yeah, but she has had no agency, and she's, been on the wrong side of the vote and just sort of wandering. She was in a great swing position this week. This was probably her best week, and unfortunately, that's a 2. But that's where we are, guys.
Has she ever been higher? I think she's been to a 3 before.
Yeah, probably. Jesse
looks like, I feel
help
like he has
us
a
out.
1 in him. I feel like that's like 1 vibes.
So I haven't been keeping up with the dice this season. There's been a lot going on.
Yeah.
How frequently do people get 1s? I just need to know.
Frequently enough that today is okay.
It's definitely okay, but I don't know that I've ever given out a 1 this season.
This season?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to hold you back from doing a 1.
No, I don't know. It's hard to judge this because I feel like when it comes to Jamie and also like Lauren, they don't get as much in terms of just getting a chance to explain their reasoning and their rationale for things. So it's really hard to judge the moves that they're making. But I felt like if they were in the swing position this week, they probably should have swung against the Tikas. Like they should not have swung and tried. It seems like the story this season has been Sokka versus Ratu, and finally it seemed like they were about to put their differences aside, go for the Tikas, and then they were like, "Nah, we're gonna just take out or try and take out Sokka," right? And I think to Chantele's point, now Heidi's again like, what the heck? And so I guess it's not over. I guess we're still like going at each other's throats. So I don't understand the reasoning. And yeah, we're gonna go 2. We're gonna go 2. We're gonna go 2.
Look at a little 1 tease over here.
Yeah.
I was waiting
almost
for
got
it.
A 1. But 2 is safe for you, Jesse. The audience also did 2, so we're just gonna do 2s across the board. No one can get mad at any one particular person. With that story. All right, just a couple more left. My gosh, it flies by when we get to this part of the game. Lauren. Oh, wait, this is me to start. Well, unfortunately, I can't really differentiate Lauren too much from Jamie right now. I was very confused why Lauren wasn't jumping at getting rid of Danny. She's been talking about it for weeks. And then all of a sudden she was working with Danny to get out Carson. I mean, maybe, Jesse, you have a point that they should have just stuck with Carson. But I actually was like, girl, get your Danny out if that's who you want to get out. Again, I mean, she was kind of in a swing position. So I'm just gonna do the same thing I did for Jamie. I don't know. She didn't do well at last gasp. I don't know. I don't got much for her this episode. Unfortunately, Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar. I kind of mentioned like it's hard because we're not getting too much from Lauren and Jamie. I will say that from Lauren, I think early in the episode we got a confessional where she was acknowledging that Carson and Tika were kind of sitting in this like powerful position. And so I really just am so curious as to what, got them back to, working with Tika. Was it the, Carson social game? Like, is it the magic of Carson that's happening? I don't know. But yeah, there's really not much to go off of. So I am also going to stick with the 2. Yeah.
Sorry, Lauren. Chantele, do you feel any different?
How can I feel any different? Nothing different was done. Nothing different happened. They were working together. They voted together. And I don't understand why they did what they did necessarily. It didn't seem like it was a good move. Maybe they thought about it and it's a good move to them, but like, it just seems all over bad. She didn't do well in the immunity challenge. Did they have a reward challenge this week?
Mm-mm.
No, it's
So
just amazing.
okay, she didn't win that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just like she hasn't done anything in the last little while to make me be like, oh my god, her gameplay is so good. Oh, her strategic mind is amazing. Like it just nothing happened to make me do anything different than the two of you or for what I did for Jamie. So
Yeah.
dos.
Well, audience agrees. 2s across the board, you guys, for both Jamie and Lauren. But I don't believe we're going to have 2s across the board for our very last but not least at all. Jam Jam and Jesse, you get to start us off.
You're right. 2's not across the board. Starting with a 1.
Oh!
I'm just kidding. Imagine.
Like, I'm saving my 1.
I'm coming in with a hot take. No. I think the Jam Jam did. He's not gonna be in the Carson 5 tier for me personally, because, and this is, again, we're basing this off of like a very edited, clips and scenes and things like that. But he did sort of, when he was coming back to do damage control with Carolyn, I think you could just tell the difference between how Carson and Carolyn were conversing and how Jam Jam and Carolyn were conversing. I think Jam Jam even had to walk away, whereas Carson then stayed after and was like continuing to talk with her. They ended up smoothing it over, but he was also ended up being, from what we saw, left out of the loop about, the idol play. So clearly Carolyn was more comfortable telling Carson, or felt a greater need to tell Carson than Jam Jam. But Jam Jam did win immunity. His name wasn't out there because of that. And I just think overall this season, it's been really fun to watch him go from like consistently being like having his name written down, and then watching the people that write his name down go out. And that's been so much fun to watch. So he's been playing a great game. I just don't know if I saw as much like moving of the numbers as I did with Carson here. So I'm gonna give Jam Jam a 4.
4. Yeah. Very, very fair. Chantele, do you agree?
So the one thing about Jam Jam, like I probably could have started with like the other Chica members like a little bit higher, like probably, but then, like you said, Jesse, he was left out of that vote. And so that there's something about his relationship with Carolyn that she doesn't trust him as much as she trusts Carson. I mean, she did say it like 6 episodes ago that it was like 96% she trusts Jam Jam, and then like 99.9% Carson. So we were aware that she trusted him more, but it just is unfortunate that they aren't working together as such a tight-knit group. I think when the problem that I had with his game this episode is he told Danny, I believe, about the fact that it was Heidi that put the vote on him in the week before, and him relaying that information actually made him the target, which I think is not great gameplay. Like, he didn't know about this. He ends up winning immunity and protecting himself, and that's why Carson was in the line of fire. But he was kind of in a dangerous position. If it was pretty much any other immunity challenge, he probably would have been the one that received the votes. And I don't know if Carolyn would have saved him. So I kind of still, though, agree with Jesse because he won last gasp. And I think that that's so damn impressive. He did end up saving himself, even though he didn't know about it. Yeah. And he's probably in a better position now. I think out of the 3 Tika members, I think he would be voted out last. I think it would probably go still Carson, then Carolyn, then Jam Jam. And so I feel like he has end of the game in his path. So 4 dice.
4 dice. I'm going to agree with the 4 dice. Absolutely. I mean, I give Jam Jam a lot of credit. He's not 100% in control. Like, I feel like Carson has been very much in control. And then I feel like Carolyn's got these great reads and she is making moves, but I feel like Jam Jam's like right there behind them. I don't hate that he spilled information to Danny. Danny just chose not to believe him, and it turns into a target for him. But I give Jam Jam massive credit for winning an immunity. That's incredible, especially this crazy one. And being in a pretty good position, because if Carson or Carolyn get the position to lose one of the Tikas and keep one, I think Jam Jam's the one you keep, right? I think Carson will eventually realize he can't sit next to Carolyn, and Carolyn will probably realize she can't sit next to Carson. But I think that both of them feel like they could sit next to Jam Jam. He was fun and emotional, but I don't think they look at him as being able to win the game. So I feel like that keeps him in a good spot. But yeah, absolutely 4 for him. Like, he's playing a really good game for it being like, not like mastermindful. It's an interesting, like, good social game, I guess. Is that what we would call it?
Well, I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, he's likable. I think we even heard other people say, like, Jam Jam is, like, so likable. Like, they enjoy him. And so, yeah, that is a social game. Sometimes that's what it comes down to. So,
right. Audience also gave him 4 dice. So 4 dice across the board for Jam Jam. Yay. Well, so our highest actually was Carson with 5. He did average out with 5 dice. And we had 2 people with 2. So those are our lowest, Jamie and Lauren. That's all right. Overall, this is a pretty decent final 6, though, I feel like. Jesse, what do you think about this final 6 as a group?
yeah, I think it's a great final 6. I think that you got Carson, who is, I mean, clear. Just this episode was so fun. Like, I think he really shined this episode, in my opinion. Just being able to go from like being in a bad spot with Carolyn to having her play an idol on him, and then also like moving the numbers the way that he did. I thought so he's great. I think Carolyn is just so much fun to watch. I am like super invested in Carolyn. I almost want to go back and give her a 5 just because. And Jam Jam's so much fun. Like, the whole cast is so fun to watch, and I think it's going to be an interesting final 6. Final 6 last season was when Cody went out, so this is when crazy stuff can happen. So I'm really excited to see what goes down.
Yeah. Do you have any predictions, or is it hard to say at this point?
I mean, the only thing I could base my predictions off of is the previews and some of the sneak peeks, and it looks like Jam Jam was talking about Carolyn. So maybe we're gonna get another massive betrayal. I don't know.
Is it too early though for that? Like, I feel like they do have to betray her. We can't have 3 Tikas sit at the end. Right? 3 Tikas know they can't sit together at the end, right? That's just splitting votes. Is this just me?
They're on the beach talking about it. So I'm talking about sitting together.
Nobody's really believing that, right?
Maybe. We'll see.
I don't know. I feel like I think they're talking about cutting Carolyn, but and maybe I'm just hopeful, but that it wouldn't be yet. That they'd be like, we got to do this later.
Do we trust these edits? So,
you mean the previews? Yeah.
Yeah, the previews that are selectively released.
Yeah, like they're really going to be like, oh, maybe we should take out Carolyn, and then she actually goes out. I think, yeah. I mean, if they did that, that would be wild. But I feel like it's just a red herring. It better be, because I'll be pissed if it's not. They would have to know that too, right?
Jesse, you still have Lauren and Carolyn on your draft team. How do you feel about it?
I still have 2 players as well, okay?
I know, so do I. I'm just starting with Jesse, okay? Hold on.
I feel good about them. I nobody ever sent me how we're scoring this draft, so I have a rough idea, but do immunity wins matter? Because Lauren's already won immunity, so I could see it happening again, her bringing in some more points for me. Yeah. Carolyn finds another idol, I could see some more points coming. Yep. And then if Carolyn makes it to the end, I could see her having a really good case for winning. So
yeah,
I feel good.
I'll send you the spreadsheet. You get points for like making it to final 3 for votes at the end. So obviously the further you go, the more points you get. But Chantele, you also have
a category of like, maybe if you get like good dice for the what, for the, you know what I mean?
Oh
like you can get like a point or so. Like if you get more, like come on, I can't. Okay, the thing is, Jesse, I lost the Big Brother draft having the winner on my team. And so I could
She doesn't
easily
have points
have the
to.
winner on my team because Jam Jam and was Jamie the other person I have?
Yeah, you have Jamie and Jam Jam.
Aren't really point getters, but I probably got a little bit of points for winning last gas, but it's probably didn't help me get out from the bottom. But I'll think it's rigged if I win again with have the winner, but I lose the draft.
It is tough. There should be some sort of social game workaround because it's hard to get points for social game, but that will win you a game sometimes. So yeah, if Jam Jam pulls out the win, you might get some points. Carolyn is definitely Carolyn, I feel like, is definitely a front runner. I don't know about Lauren, but Carolyn is a front runner to at least make it to the final. Hopefully. She's not a big target right now. I just lost Danny, so I'm only down to Carson.
Get rid of him next week.
No,
need you out of this race.
It's interesting that we each have one Tika. David's been out of it for a while. He's got nobody. Who's going to go first?
I think Carson might be in a dangerous position, especially knowing that it's your last person. Yeah, let's put the energy out for Carson to go.
Just going to manifest it.
I'm ding.
You have Jamie's mom.
Ding.
Yes.
Carson's done next. Bing.
You know what? The audience though has Heidi, and like she's still in it. They don't have many points, but
are they like they had more points than me?
No, they don't have more. You're beating the audience, Chantele. Way to go.
With their one player, and I had 3.
Yeah. So Jesse, you are 7 points behind me at this point, but I'm only down to 1 player, so we'll see.
There's 2 episodes.
Get rid of him.
2 episodes left.
Our sweet little Tikas. Well, that is this week. We only have 1 episode this week, and then next week is the finale. Is going to go boom, boom, boom here real quick, and we're going to have our finals of this season. I'm so excited. I have stayed invested this entire season. I've enjoyed this cast, and the twists and advantages didn't seem too in the way.
Well, they were all ineffective, which is like super fun. Like I love a failed twist, right? It's like that's fun for me, seeing them not work, seeing everybody go out with these fake idols. Like, yes, it would have been kind of fun to see somebody like really think it's an idol play it, but then also I'd feel so bad. Like Kane was talking about how like, oh, he's so happy that he didn't end up playing the idol and then think that he's safe and then go home. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want you to have that experience, because like that really, really, really sucks. So yeah, I'm just happy all the fake idols didn't actually get played.
I'm not. I really needed Jamie to play that fake idol.
Maybe Jamie's the only one that I might have needed to see.
That was so prominent. That was so prominent. It just kept going back to that. I was like, oh, this is building to something, and then it just like went out in somebody's sock. Yeah, it's like this is crazy.
I blame the editors. Like they really set us up, and then it was like, no, it's not even in the game. I was like, what? So I get you. Yeah, great. The fake idol didn't ruin anybody's game, but like I needed to see one of them.
Yeah, that's the only one that I was like, okay, like we've really heard a lot about this damn fake idol, like idol to her. I want to see how it played out, but yeah, in general, I'm happy those fake idols didn't work.
Yeah. Well, Jesse, what is happening in your life right now? Anything we need to tell the peoples about? What's going on?
There's been a lot. I've been going to a lot of watch parties, which has been so much fun because I'm not the one on the TV. I get to just watch other people on the TV and then watch other people critique and react. It's great. I've just been hitting a lot of the watch parties. I ended up on a beer can at a local brewery with Johnny Fairplay and Sandra, which is crazy to say. I just remember watching them as a kid, and now like I'm on a beer can that I can go down to my fridge and pull out, and I'm there. It's just crazy. And yeah, no, I've just been having a great time being a Survivor alum now and not being a Survivor contestant. And I will be in New York for the finale.
Oh, for the finale, right?
They're
in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, either of you going to New York?
I wasn't, but maybe. You never know.
Okay.
This isn't very close to me. It's far for Sarah, but it's close to me. So I wasn't planning on it, but I could make it a plan. We'll see.
You make it a plan. Be there.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll be stuck on the West Coast, but it'll be amazing and so fun to watch all you guys and all your watch parties. I got to figure out a way to get to a watch party instead of doing my recap. I got to work during the show, you know?
Oh, you can just do it later.
Oh, yeah, just get to it later. Jesse, what does it feel like you just watched yourself? This is the very first season of it not being you being an alum. Is there any PTSD? Is there like triggers? Or
like, are you shaking? Like,
or is it just like
you're starving yourself because that's what you're used to? Like,
anytime I see them at the campfire, I just go into shock. Traumatized. No, it's been fun to watch. It's been, again, like, I think the fact that, like, when you're watching yourself on the season, like, first thing first, like, seeing yourself on TV when you're not used to it or hearing your voice back when you're not used to it is just so, like, I still never watch, like, any of the podcasts or anything that I do back because I just can't hear my voice. So sitting through, like, watching myself was painful. And then obviously, like, knowing the outcome of my season as I'm watching it and I'm feeling like people, like, start to, like, support me and, like, really pull for, like, it's just different and hard and a lot of emotions. But watching other people, it's, like, a lot of fun. And it does give me some insight, though, because, like, I understand that these are, like, actual people, right? And like, you have to, like, have empathy for them. And whereas, like, you go on Twitter and it's not the case. So.
There's no empathy on Twitter.
No. I'm glad I don't have to worry about Twitter reactions to the episodes anymore. It's great.
No, Twitter's a lot. Well, thank you so much for coming back, Jesse. Thank you to everyone in the chat for joining us and getting your ratings in. We really appreciate your feedback. And then if anyone is joining us later, please leave a comment, give us your ratings, tell us who you're loving for a final 3, who you might be worried about going next. Let us know. And I'll be recapping this week. Chantele, what are you doing this week?
What day? I don't even know what day it is right now. I think, I'm just doing the challenge global with this week. So I will do a recap tomorrow for the episode. It's the penultimate episode as well this week. And then I'll do a Survivor recap. I'm not sure when. I'll do that with JoJo sometime this week. So,
well, make sure you're subscribed so that you get whenever those videos drop. All right. Yes. Stay cool, everybody. All right. Bye.
Bye.